Yeah, tricep. Complained, felt it on the pitch there. So he's gonna go get an MRI tomorrow, and then we'll see what we're dealing with.
I think that may be an IL situation.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, when you got a pitcher, coming out of the game because of an arm, even if we get good news, you still gotta be careful. So, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We gotta wait and see what we're dealing with here.
I can't remember what pitch it was, but it was about 2 pitches or a pitch before. You can see me kind of move my tricep around a little bit, tightened up. I threw that last pitch was a cutter, and I felt my tricep, and don't know exactly how long, what we're looking at. Get imaging tomorrow and see where we're at, and but yes, tricep, and we'll see what the damage is tomorrow.
What's your level of concern at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't my elbow. That was what I was really, I guess, happy about. But yeah, we're looking at probably an IL stint. Just hopefully come back and get this thing fixed and continue to help the team.
If you were watching the game yesterday, you saw that A.J. Minter left with an injury, and then after the game he said that he would be most likely needing an IL stint to deal with this. Now we have the diagnosis. He has a lat strain, and he has landed himself on the injured list. Lat strains are a little bit tough. You don't know exactly the grade of the strain yet. If it's a low-grade strain, you could see him back in a month or so, but if it's a high-grade strain, you could be without Minter, one of your top relievers now, for probably 3 months. It's the same injury that Frankie Montas has dealt with, but he had a significant strain, so we don't really know the significance of it yet, but we do know that he's gone for probably at least about a month now, most likely longer than that, and it's going to give an opportunity for other guys to step up in that bullpen. You look at Reed Garrett, who I think they've used earlier in games lately because they like to have him be the first guy in to kind of get the rest of the outs or finish out the inning once there's men on base, because he's been great at doing that. But you're going to have to see Kranick maybe step into a more important role. I know he's been kind of the long reliever and given multiple innings, but maybe you need to get him more accustomed to late inning games. A.J. Minter was a lefty, but he's your most important reliever. Between him and Stanek, they're your setup guys. So, not great news here, not something that we wanted to see. It seemed likely, obviously, after he made those comments yesterday after the game, that it was something probably pretty serious. But it's still not great to hear that it's a lat strain. Those are tricky. It's something that can keep him out for a long time. And not ideal, obviously. They do call up Jose Urena for... he's going to be more of a spot starter now. I think they called him up instead of Nunez because they're going to need a starter the next time through the rotation, and it was better to call him up now and maybe be a little bit short in the bullpen so that you didn't have to send Brazoban or Kranick down to the minors to call up another starter. Urena's a long relief guy basically at this point. He can give you a few innings. And they're going to use him as kind of a spot starter as needed. He'll probably be up for one start and then get sent down probably for Nunez. And that really leaves the Mets with only one lefty in their bullpen now. It's just Danny Young. So he's not a late inning guy. He's not a guy you can trust coming in the 8th inning. So the bullpen got worse. And for a bullpen that's been very good this year, I still do see an issue with how they've been used. They've pitched a lot of innings so far. It's unavoidable. I don't think Carlos Mendoza is doing anything wrong, but they're just not, especially early on, we're not getting length out of their starters, and their relievers have had to throw in a lot of pitches, a lot of innings, and a lot of high leverage games. So you can already see Kranick hasn't looked as sharp lately. Brazoban hasn't looked quite as sharp lately. Those guys are just pitching a lot. Stanek, too, he hasn't been great lately. So those guys are throwing a lot of innings, throwing a lot of pitches, and over time that's really going to start to affect your bullpen. And guys you might see start getting injured. Kranick had some issues. Now you see Minter going out with an injury. Edwin Diaz comes out with that hip cramp or whatever it was a few days ago. So when these guys are getting used this much, you are risking injuries and you are risking problems going forward. And you're really risking them just being less effective. So, yes, this is a big deal, Minter going out. He's one of our more reliable relievers, really the biggest pickup in the bullpen this year. So I think that's going to be an adjustment, and guys are going to have to step into bigger roles. And yeah, I don't love it, but I think they have enough depth to get through it. Hopefully it's more the month-long injury rather than the 2 or 3 month injury like Montas has become. We'll know more, I guess, when they say what grade the strain is. But yeah, not great. Anyway, we got a game today, trying to take 2 of the first 3 of the Washington series, and that's really all I got. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, give me a like, comment what you think about the Minter injury, and until next time, let's go Mets.